What's going on, YouTube? I got another follow-up video. Actually, I have a couple products here. Number one, boom. And unfortunately, I got to focus with my phone here. So I used this product, and mainly because, like it says right here, it won't harm the lawn, guaranteed. Now that's basically saying as long as you use it in application with what it recommends. I think this one is like 2 ounces or 2.4 ounces per gallon or 1 ounce per gallon. I mean, regardless, whichever product you end up using, you always want to check the directions, make sure you're mixing it to the right amount. But I also used it in conjunction with this product. Now they both do take care of crabgrass. This one has crabgrass control, kills crabgrass and dandelions, and then the first one also does chickweed, clover, and oxalis. But the whole reason why I did it was because I never put down a pre-emergent, and then I ended up, dealing with the dandelions and everything, and then I went ahead and I sprayed the Roundup, which did its damage. We can still kind of see some of the remnants here. I'll say it is filling in a little bit better. There's a lot more all around through this area, so it's kind of filling in. The Ringer Lawn Restore is definitely taking effect. There's just a lot of clover and random weeds and stuff. You can kind of see right there. Today is actually like 92. Well, that's what they're going to say it's going to be. Generally speaking, around this area in Virginia. If it's going to be 92, it's closer to like 96 or 97. But you can see, again, with the Epsom salt treatment, helping these plants out, doing quite well. We got the other pot there. Still have flowers blooming, lilies growing, petunias looking nice. So everything's coming along. I do have the rose bush that I can now brag about, because I also did that treatment on the rose bush. Usually we only get one or two buds every year, maybe 2 or 3 different times a year. But the colors on these are a little bit more vibrant than what they usually ever are. So that's something that you can get from the Epsom salt. Now you can see all the weeds I have going on here. That's why I did a mix of both. I kept them in proportion to the measurements required. And then I just did it in I guess like a back and forth sweeping motion. I just kind of covered and I went across, and then I got here and I looped around and I came back, and I just kind of kept doing it that way, And then once I squared this off, I walked all the way around, and then I went down and back to cover every bit. Just a light mist. It says mix to 1 gallon for 200 square feet. I have a 3-gallon container, and so I just did it that way. And I, according to the 4,200 and 4,197 square feet that the front and side yard are, I mixed accordingly and sprayed in sections. I just did that actually last night, so it's going to take a little bit of time for it to take effect. I imagine throughout the whole process, the grass will probably thin out a little bit, just because it's really not the grass, it's the weeds that are kind of dying out. The rest will all kind of fill in time. But if I don't say so myself, I would say that looks like either the heat is getting to it, or the treatment of the chemical is getting to it. So all good signs that something's happening. But we will see in good time. Maybe a matter of a week or two. And it says if necessary, follow up with a follow-up, with a follow-up. Do an extra application maybe after 2 to 3 weeks, depending on your results. This stuff is supposed to be safe for lawns, but obviously you don't want to overdo it. The more you overdo it, the more that you're risking damaging the lawn there. So we got our palm tree here that almost didn't make it through the winter, sitting inside the house anyways. Just didn't have the best lighting. It's just kind of like how I'm doing, blocking all the sunlight, so you can't really see what I'm talking about. But it's drying out a little bit, but I'm keeping it watered. I got to kind of flush a lot of the plants that were inside. I got to flush them out so they can start taking up better water. They're all kind of like in a nutrient lock right now just because of lack of nutrients and pH levels and lighting and a lot of different stuff that kind of has taken effect. Plus, like I said, today's 90 something, and these plants have been used to 74 degrees for the last 4, 5, 6 months. So just something to consider if you're going through the same thing. We have a rubber plant that practically lost all the leaves, but it's springing back. A lot of it's just this heat, you know. Most of these are going to do better overnight. We took, I don't know if you remember in any previous videos, we had these guys in a little black pot. We decided to split them up and plant them in these planters so they can have a little bit more room to grow. They handle the heat a lot better than anything, and the way the sun goes, you know, it kind of comes up this way and it sets that way. So once it's about 11 to noon, it just stays sunlight on this side of the house. So most of the flowers we had never really made it. Everything's coming together. I wanted to give you guys a quick update just so you can see what's really going on. And I'm guilty. I gotta tell you, if you guys saw any other videos, it looked a little bit more cinematic. I did a little extra detailing in the editing side with the color correction, and unfortunately, by the time I edited and published, you could see that the colors of the petunias were a little bit too vibrant, a little unreal. So busted. I kind of busted myself, but hope you guys enjoyed this update. If you guys want to see the rest of the videos, just go ahead and subscribe. Go to the channel where you can just look for my crappy yard part 1. So we'll see you on the next video.